already started falling apart like right before baptism. I had this notion that I would get all the bad stuff that I do and the negative behavior out of my system before I get baptized. So I wanted to stop listening to rap music on top of this. So on the way to the church, I'm listening to the last rap album that I loved so much that had such an impact on my teenage life. This album was Project Pat, Mr. Don't Play. And once I arrived to the church and I'm like, this is the last album, people are bothering me, bugging me, telling me stop listening to this music, blah, blah, blah. Being young, I was taking it the wrong way. Because the music had no effect on the type of individual I would be regardless. Because I had an aunt that would come to church every day playing UGK Riding Dirty on her tape deck in her station wagon. Yes, I had a 50-year-old aunt that was playing UGK every Sunday morning on her way to church. She knew all the lyrics to every song on that tape. So if I understood religion better back then, it would be that it wouldn't completely change a lot of who I was. It would just enhance it into a better direction. But I wasn't thinking like that. At the time, I felt extremely pressured. Because I'm like, I'm in this church. I'm trying to be this person. This person really isn't me. And I'm doing all these things for the wrong reason. I'm getting born again and baptized because my grandmother wants me to do it. And I want my grandmother to be happy. But at the time, it was not me. So I'm trying to get closer and closer to this goal, and I'm getting more and more depressed because a lot of negative things are happening. But as I said before, my grandmother has a huge impact on my life. Some extremely close people to me, family members, passed away all in 1 month. I lost my job that same month, a week after that to be exact, and spiraling in deep depression for like a year and a half. Like it was one of my deepest points, and my grandmother called me, and like a conversation with her pulled me clean out of that. Because the people I lost were close to her as well. So she was able to cope with what happened and spoke me clean out of that situation. And anytime I felt like extremely depressed, I would call and talk to my grandma. And she would pull me clean out of that situation every time. The one time I didn't call my grandmother when I was depressed is like right before I got married. I got married and I told everybody I was married like a month after I was married. I had kids. I made sure my grandmother saw my kids and everything else. And I was still trying to do the church thing on top of all of this. And then my grandmother passed away, and that was it. It was no more church after that. At that point, nothing made sense at that point. It was like everything that held me together to do all these things was gone. So now I'm super depressed, and I ain't got nobody to talk to pull me out of it anymore. That person's completely gone now. And during this time, me and my mother is rebuilding our relationship, but that's still crazy. That relationship didn't get good till like 3 or 4 years ago. But before that, it was all grandma. And once grandma passed, I changed completely. It was no going back. The one person who had control over my sanity was gone. So now you can't tell me nothing no more.